Okay, well, it's not exactly 24 hours, but it's pretty close. As you remember, I put the permatex down into here, and it was on the sides of this edge here as well. And to be honest, I really can't see. I mean, yes, you can sort of see there's a kind of a mark left behind, but I've given it a pretty good, like I also ran it through here as well, and actually had it up on the sides, and you can just faintly see like a small line here, but it doesn't really appear to have done much to the material. And I've tried flexing it a fair bit, and it doesn't appear to be, specifically brittle. I've pushed on it. So there's nothing obviously making it crumbly apart from here where it's crumbly, because I believe that the problem with this part is that during the moulding, the length of these two parts, like here and here, have essentially caused the plastic to be right at the edge of its plasticity, and it's cooled, would be my guess, because there's probably other areas were kept hotter. I don't really know. I also put a bit, I didn't talk about this in the video, but I put a blob of it right there, and you can see that there's, like a mark where it was, but again, there's nothing really, jumping out at me to say that there's something wrong with the way this plastic looks. So I would call it, if I was doing materials testing on this, hang on a minute, I have, that Permatex Blue has no effect on making this plastic more brittle than anything else, than it was before. And sure, I could scrape off a bit of swarf there with a sharp tool, but it still operates quite well. So I think that the reason why these bits break is because the plastic's crap and it's had problems in its moulding. I don't believe that it's related to Permatex, and more importantly, for it to have affected such a large part when in fact it was originally just only, very briefly around the head of the screw. And I don't dribble this stuff in like treacle, mate. I just friggin' put a little tiny drop on the end of the screw and put it in. For it to have weakened that plastic that far, I think that that's a long stretch to imagine. I think that what's actually happened is that these are just crap plastic. And that some of them have got problems and some of them don't have problems, and it's just a crap's throw. And some people may have, coincidentally put Permatex on screws that broke, or maybe they all fucking broke. I don't know. But I'm not going to blame the Permatex for this, especially since my experience to this point in time hasn't led me to believe that this was even the case, because my first one was broken like this when I first got it, and there was no Permatex on it. I bought another one, and I put it in, and it broke, even as I was just doing it up, and then so I think it's a stretch to think it's the Permatex, but if you think it's the Permatex, then my solution to you would be to don't use the metal screws and to use the M3 screws, bolts. I don't know what to call these things, because some people call them screws, but to me they're not a screw if they're not, like a soft tapper or something like that. But anyway, I would go for the nylon M3 bolts. You can buy them for cheap as chips, and I don't think they're going to vibrate out. Like, the ones that I've got that are currently holding my my side covers on, and I'm not going to throw this one away, because even though that's broken, this is actually amenable to be used in my other method, where I actually just put it straight through there and a washer sits on the top there. So that this is actually still a fully functional, even if it's friggin' broken in some places, piece of plastic for me. So there it is. Okay, well, hopefully that helps somebody. It's been an amusing experiment, if nothing else, and gives me a reason to do something else at lunchtime apart from fucking coding. Okie dokie, have fun.